Round the back, mate. A gruff voice came from the far side of the large work shed. It was there I had my first glance of Jim. He sat leaning forward on the outhouse toilet. His dirty orange high-vis vest contrasted brilliantly against the browns and greens of the slightly leaning shelter. The door made of rotten fence posts swung half open in the gentle breeze. He perched forward, palms on his naked knees, with his grey drill shorts by his ankles covering his well-worn work boots. "You break and enter or embezzlement," he gruffed, and quickly continued, "Don't matter actually." He was visibly straining, catching his breath like a woman in labour. "Last night at Rotary Club, I had Mrs. Kumar's curry, then Frederick's goat milk cheese. Neither are coming out without a fight," he gave a growl. "Go to the fridge in the shed, get that margarine, mate, quickly." Bemused and affronted. Was he going to use the spread for? No. I turned, hearing a chuckle from the unshaven man. "It's not in the fridge, I left it on the bench." He started with a crackling laughter, slapping his knees, trying to launch what appeared to be the world's most painful turd. "You thought I was going to lube my arsehole with the margarine, you dirty bugger." His raucous, infectious laughter carried through to my soul. Still essentially naked from the waist down, he was not consumed with thoughts of modesty or decorum. "You go flick the kettle on and make a cuppa while I finish up here, mate. Coffee, make it white, strong and sweet just like my missus," he commanded. A small bar fridge contained an open UHT container of milk. White flakes of dehydrated milk splintered off as I unscrewed the lid. The kettle, whose lid was long gone, had a frayed kettle cord that seemed to want to jump into every spot of water in the mostly corroded stainless sink. I took a survey of the shed, the usual assortment of tools and machinery, all surprisingly put in order and well maintained, unlike the kitchen facilities. Despite his disregard for personal appearance, Jim certainly took pride in keeping his work shed in order. "Forms here say you need to do 50 hours. He rested a form against the bonnet of the tractor and pulled out a blunt lead pencil from his back pocket, muttering and ticking boxes. He handed the letter to me. He'd signed off on my 50 hours, ticked all the right boxes, and dated the letter 2 weeks in the future. "That's out of the way," he smiled, sipping the coffee. "Hell's bells, where'd you learn to make this?" He continued, smiling. "Turkish prison, but I'd rather not talk about that," I responded, realising it was the first time I'd spoken since I got there. I smiled, and Jim smiled. Whether or not 50 hours of community service was completed is essentially immaterial. "I get a $25 kickback per hour for every one of you crims I babysit," Jim chuckled one afternoon between mouthfuls of ice-cold beer. Through the community service program, Jim developed, cultivated so much more than ex-cons. Gardens were honestly an oasis in an otherwise untamable rainforest of southeast Queensland. By no means world-class, yet still absolutely appropriate for visitors to enjoy a casual stroll around the well-stocked, well-maintained gardens. People often ask if I regret committing that crime. My answer is always absolutely yes. I'm ashamed of what I did and who I was. Did the crime fit the punishment? I'll let society decide that. Was I rehabilitated? Did I come out a better man? Yes, absolutely. Jim, up in that garden in heaven, thank you for being a scoundrel, a rascal, and most importantly, my friend.